All right. Today, we're diving into something that might just flip your entire understanding of reality on its head. It's an idea pulled from the world of quantum physics that completely redefines who and what you are.
So let me ask you something really simple. Are you a solid object? I mean, think about it. You feel solid, right? You can tap your fingers on the table, you can pinch your own arm. It all seems pretty darn real, pretty concrete.
But what if I told you that feeling, that solidity, is mostly an illusion, a really convincing trick your senses are playing on you? Because when science zooms way, way in, when we look at what you're really made of, your body is actually.
Yeah, you're seeing that right. 99.9999999% empty space. The atoms that make you up, they're not like tiny little marbles stacked together. Nope. They're more like these little buzzing points of energy in a massive, empty void. And this leads to a wild conclusion. You are not the physical stuff. So if you're not the matter, what are you? You are the living energy, the awareness in that space, the consciousness that's animating the whole thing. Your true self isn't the body. It's the experiencer of the body. And that single shift in perspective is what we're going to unpack right now.
Okay, so your energy. But what does that even mean? It's not just some random, chaotic buzz. Think of it like this. You are constantly broadcasting a signal out into the universe. And understanding that signal, well, that's the first key to everything. Now, the best, clearest signal you can send out is something called coherence. This is your body's natural go-to state of alignment. When you're in coherence, your heart, get this, it generates this smooth, really powerful electromagnetic field that literally radiates several feet out from you. You know that feeling of being totally in the zone when everything just clicks and flows? That's it. That's coherence. So let's break it down. When you're coherent, when you're feeling aligned and at ease, your signal is this beautiful, smooth wave. And that's when life feels harmonious, like you're just gliding along. But when you're stressed and chaotic, your signal gets all jagged and messy. It's like radio static. And that's what creates all the friction and struggle we feel in our lives. All right, so you're broadcasting this signal, right? Either smooth and coherent or jagged and incoherent. But how does that signal actually, do anything? How does it connect with the world? Well, to understand that, you have to think of yourself as a kind of quantum antenna. Your brain is the antenna. And this is where it gets mind-blowing. Every single second, your senses are picking up around 11 million bits of information. Everything you see, hear, feel, 11 million bits. But your conscious mind, it only processes about 40. 40 out of 11 million? That's not just a filter. That's an almost unbelievable reduction of information.
And this is maybe the most important thing to grasp. You don't experience all of reality. There's no way you could. You only experience the 40 bits that your antenna is tuned to pick up. Let that sink in. The world you see isn't the world. It's the world that matches your current tuning, your personal frequency.
So naturally, the next question is, how do you tune the antenna? Well, think of it like you have three main tuning dials. The first is your baseline feeling. What's your emotional default state? The second is your core identity, the story you tell yourself about who you are. And the third is your deepest expectations, what you genuinely, deep down, believe is possible for you. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. If it's that easy, why isn't everyone just happy and successful, right? Well, because there's interference. There's a whole lot of static that keeps us tuned to the same old, unwanted stations. So let's talk about what's causing that static. Now, this next idea is a big one. What if I told you that a lot of the thoughts in your head aren't actually your thoughts, especially the nagging ones, the worry, the self-doubt, the comparison? Think of them as just transmissions, static you're picking up from this collective, chaotic survival frequency that's always on in the background. The trick is to realize you're not the thought. You're the one who hears the thought. This leads us to a really fascinating quantum idea called the measurement trap. So in this view of the universe, and yeah, it's debated in physics, but it's a powerful model. Everything exists as a wave of pure potential, infinite possibilities. But the second you observe something, the moment you put your focus on it, you measure it, and poof, you collapse all those infinite possibilities down into one single solid reality. And here's the crazy catch. It's a total paradox. When you're fighting against something, I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be sick. What are you focusing on? Broke, sick. You are putting a ton of your attention, your measurement, on the very thing you're trying to avoid. And by constantly observing it, you're actually making it more real, more probable in your world.
So that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do you stop measuring the reality you fear? How do you take your focus off of what you don't want and start putting it squarely on what you do want? This is the big shift. This is where we go from being a passive victim of reality, just reacting to whatever comes our way, to becoming an active creator of it. It's the difference between being an observer and becoming a creator. Let's look at the difference. The observer just reacts to what is. They look at their bank account, their relationships, and they worry. They analyze. But the creator generates what can be. Their focus isn't on the outside world. It's on their internal frequency. They're busy generating a new signal. And this is absolutely crucial. The creator doesn't wait for things to get better before they feel better. No, the creator generates that feeling of coherence, that feeling of their wish fulfilled first. They start broadcasting the signal of the reality they want long before there's any physical evidence of it. So here's a really practical tool you can use anytime. Whenever you catch yourself stuck in that observer mode, analyzing, worrying, stressing, just stop and ask yourself this one simple question. What wants to be created through me now? That question immediately shifts you out of your problem-focused brain and opens you right up to the field of pure potential.
And now for the final piece of the puzzle. And honestly, it can be the hardest one. It's surrender. See, our logical brains are obsessed with the how. We need a plan, a strategy, a step-by-step guide. But in the quantum world, trying to control the how is like putting the brakes on. The most powerful thing you can do is just let go. Trust that the universe or quantum coordination will handle the details in ways you could never even imagine. And that is what's known as the quantum leap. When you finally release your death grip on the how and the why, you open the door for reality to just reorganize itself around your new signal in incredibly fast and synchronized ways. This is where all those magical synchronicities and impossible coincidences come from. So, when you boil it all down, it comes to this one simple truth. Your internal frequency is the only thing creating your reality. It's the cause, and your life is the effect. So the only question left is, what signal will you choose to broadcast today?